Hello, and thanks for coming back and joining me. My name is Amir of Hazelwood. Um, Sorry about the late start today. But yeah, I was going to do video content last night, and then some fishermen came by and asked me to do up some sheaths for their fishing knives. So I was busy at that last night. Got enough money together to buy some grub for me and my cat, Puka. And yeah. So it's a late start to the day, and it's bloody cold and damp as always. Um, the ferry to Argentia is running, which is weird because it gets cut off October 13th, I think, and it normally doesn't run until usually around June of the following year. Um, but with the crazy weather that we've been having, yeah, the roads have been cut off from our main ferry hub. So stores are going skimp a little bit right now, and there's a mad rush to stock what they can. Perks from living on an island, I guess. Uh, but that's neither here nor there. So today's projects. I actually have some these about a local dollar store. I'm gonna make up some sheaths for them. Uh, Try to get a few designs out there in case anyone doesn't see it's a cheap fillet knife. Nothing special, but gives me the ability to do up a template for something different that I normally don't stock. That I should be stocking, considering one of the still bigger economy boosters and exports is seafood and fish. The thing I love about Newfoundland is being a resident here. During certain times of the year, you're allowed to fish for trout without a license. If you come to the island and you're a guest, you have to get a license, or you might be able to go with a resident. I'm not too sure for the trout. For cod, different story. You come to the island, anyone who has a residential license is allowed, I believe, five fish per person per boat per day. So if you come to visit and you come and hang out with a resident, they can take you out cod fishing, and you can catch a quota of your own, so to speak. Don't mind me, I'm drinking tea. I've been out of coffee for a while, and normally I'm a tea drinker, anyways. PG tips, good brew. Ran out of pain medication a couple days ago, and that's been a fun challenge as well. Oh, so I'm gonna be a little bit sporadic. Last night I was gonna do my first ever take on one of our content creator that I've been following for a bit now. Actually, going back to the whole Tom McDonald and Steven Crowder thing. On Steven Crowder's side, this fella, and I always get his name mixed up, and you gotta mind me, I'm bad with names, especially after the accident. Um, his name is Jeremy, and he has a show on YouTube, Minds, and a few other places called The Quartering. It originally started off as, soft pieces about video games, entertainment, news, stuff like that. But recently, he's been touching more on subjects that fall outside those regions. But that's because a lot of a lot of bad stuff is like coming to his door, pretty much, with all the craziness in the states. right now. Well, Canada's no better. But needless to say, yeah, I want to do my first video on him because, uh, for one, he's probably the one of the few content creators that has actively evolved over since watching him. Like his whole content and everything has been changed, so to speak. His attitude, his mentality, micro expressions, stuff like that. I even gave him a nickname, and I'll save that for the video when I do. And all these videos, if any of you are coming to watch me dunk on these people, you may as well just look away, because I'm not even going to try to do that for the people I disagree and the people I think that it's corrupt. I might do that in some cases, but for most cases, no. I won't be going to a point of purposely trying to slam someone, unless it's something I feel very passionate about, I guess. But I just don't see no point in that. Like, I mean, that's all we do. Like, there are certain content creators that they do it because they're trying to show you. I'm going to use a word right now, and I do say it the other way, but I'm going to say it this way because it annoys the hell out of some people, and it's just funny to listen to the reactions. Uh, but yeah, they want to show you the divisive nature of of people's mentalities and the language and emotion that they use to try to manipulate and control a situation. I'm not a journalist. I'm not a political news fact checker, whatever you guys want to call them. And for the most part, any political points that I talk about in the future will be built around situations that affect me personally to some degree or another. Occasionally, I might wander off um, that that topic. It, but I got like squirrels at a disco in my head right now, so it's not like it's not like you're going to always get a straight, narrow conversation with me, especially when it's just me talking to a camera, essentially. When it's back and forth, I can be a little bit more direct, but when it comes to this off the cuff stuff where I'm doing it unedited, just pure conversation, um, yeah, like I will jump from here to there. And so, yeah, he's definitely one of the first ones I want to do because I'm actually quite impressed with his content. I've never went away from watching one of his videos saying, "Oh, that was boring" or anything. Like, I mean, some of the undertones were a little bit soft for his conversations, and I mean, that's just his human nature. He just seems like a generally nice guy. So what do I have planned for today? I'm going to attempt to do a video with an overlay of music I listen to while trying to create these new sheaths for these fishing knives. And yeah, and like, I don't know if I'll have the attention span to sit too long for them, so I might have to stop and go on that video. Uh, Gotta get a few more chores caught up. Gotta see if I can earn enough money to get my medications. And again, all I use is cannabis. And Yes, I can grow it. It is hard to grow in this environment. There are some underlying circumstances that prevented me from growing originally, but now I'm getting back to the point where I can start growing my own again. And yeah, I just trying to figure out life as it goes and stick to it. I've got no income coming in. It's been a tough go, and people have been best kind to help out. Like I said, you can't find a better reference to what true human spirit and good human behavior, I guess. Maybe that sounds wrong because that sounds like you're labeling humans as monsters, and I don't care what you guys say. If you guys think humans are monsters, there's something wrong with you because there's good and bad in everything you look at, even nature. So don't think that we're all this great evil. You can say, oh, we pollute. Animals pollute too, in different functions, different structures. You're like, well, it's natural. No, not in the buildups that can happen. There has been proven struck points of evidence where some animals go up to a toxic level and destroy their environment too. Does it make it right to the level that we go to for pollution? No, but that's a subject for another time, and I will definitely be getting into that because that's something that hits home, especially in this province here. But for the most part, yeah, content creation today. Might try to get some more wood piled up if my back can handle it. I got some video content of the beach and the waves for what it was for the most part. It was raining pretty heavy yesterday, so I couldn't get too much. I got like 30 seconds of it. I'll be uploading that too. I might attempt a live stream today. I haven't decided yet. I'm playing with the idea right now because again, this is all new to me. I don't like editing things. I'd rather go directly to the source. You can see all the oopsie daisies and all the successes that go along with it because this is all a huge learning curve for me. So yeah, fun times ahead. I got water, I got heat, I got a little bit of grub now. I did switch over from Patreon to subscribe. Sorry again, thanks to Jeremy from the Quartering. Like he actually went on a video and he talked about it. I couldn't find any information about the two different sources and much of the difference. And I've heard some conjecture and some rumor. But I do trust his word on what he talks about, even if he might be sponsored. I doubt he's sponsored from it because of the way he talks. But even if he was, the sources that he talks about and stuff like that, and the information he gave me from that video, uh, made me choose Subscribe Star because it seems more beneficial for the consumers or I guess supporters or fans. All of them sound horrible in a way to describe someone because I mean it's great you support us and everything like that, but you're supposed to get something out of this too. Just this isn't OnlyFans, and I have my own problems with OnlyFans because, well, I mean, I don't have a problem with what people do on it. I just don't see the point of spending a fortune on these people and for nudes or anything like that. If there's a creator on there who does music, who's an artist or something like that, and no, I'm not talking about like an artist like Hunter Biden, like that. Yeah, there's so many things wrong with that. Um, then so be it. But if you're paying for sex online, which essentially is what it is, you're thirsty, is all it is. You gotta kind of look into yourself and figure out what the fuck, or sorry, what the frig is wrong with yourself. because there's better things to waste your money on. Investments, houses, small business, helping out your local small businesses, digging yourself into that. Uh, I get it. They're probably, from all the numbers I hear, I personally don't think they're hurting for money. But they are content creators, and yes, I mean, if you wish to support them, so be it. And I mean, heck, I used to buy Easy Rider magazines all the time, and I used to get the pinups and everything. And I mean, half naked to a fully naked woman on a motorcycle hanging in a garage was best kind at the time. But I wouldn't even waste money on that anymore. Like, there are so many different avenues to go with it. Like, I've given up drinking. I saw a waste of money there. Um, and trust me, I can make my own alcohol. It's not hard. If I really wanted to drink, I could. But yeah, I mean, when it comes down to all of it, I mean, yeah, support content creators if you want, but I mean, there's so many brilliant content creators out there, and like some of these gamers, even gamer girls, like I mean, tried to watch a few trying to get a grasp of how that all functions, and some of them aren't bad. I mean, a lot of those girls would whoop my butt at games. I'll say that for sure. I haven't really played games much in 5 years since I pretty much started all this off the grid lifestyle stuff. So yeah, I gotta do that. I'm setting up the workspace, bedroom, office area a lot better because again, with the colder climate coming in, it's better to isolate yourself in one section of the house than to be spread out and doing. The house is very big. Like it's not a tiny place by any means. It's in a remote location in a place called Point Verde, Newfoundland. You can look it up. It's a gorgeous place. Yes, there are people within a reasonable distance from me, but where I live too, there's no cell reception. It's generally isolated. You don't see a lot of people, and when you do, they come by to through the store. Some of them they come by to check on me, make sure I'm still alive, like legit. Like people don't see me that often. They're worried that there might be a dead body growing in the house type deal. So yeah, they always stop in. They bring me loaves of bread and stuff like that. I tend to try to stick to bartering and giving them something in return. It's not the Newfoundland style, so to speak. Like the hospitality here is very strong and ingrained in their lifestyle, so to speak, like in their culture. And if for anyone who doesn't know much about Newfoundland, there's this play in the States, a Broadway musical called Come From Away. I won't spoil it because there's too much to get into that. Essentially, it just goes on about what happened during 9/11 when the planes couldn't land in the States. And Newfoundland took them in, not even knowing if there was any terrorists or any threat aboard. Uh, so what the people went through to help those people, and what the people went through on those planes was truly beautiful, and it's a great play. Highly recommend you checking it out. So if I get to the content later, I will be introducing some Newfie music, some East Coast Nova Scotian music, essentially. There'll be some Americanized stuff in there too. Uh, it's just general feel good Irish ditties, country tunes, a little bit of early stage rock, maybe I guess you would call some of it. I don't know, but it's it's good music and I like it. And a lot of it actually has a few good stories tied to some really great adventures that I went on. And I hope to show those. It just you gotta be patient with me a little bit because again, new to this. My social skills suck when it comes to dealing with people. I lock myself away a lot. After my injuries, I try to be around people, and when the relationship, my personal or my romantic relationship went to crap, and a few other things went on the go. I just when I moved out here, it was I always try to stay by myself and stay to myself because it's hard to deal with people and it's hard to have conversations with people. And when I do, I can get on a tangent with some weird topics and stuff. And some of the things I do, people look at me with a bit of a fright because they're like, "What is wrong with you? Like, is there a lot of no light bulbs clicking upstairs? Who knows, right?" So yes, I'll be showing all that and a little bit more. Um, right now, I've got to get the fire going shortly. I've got cat fed. She's just perched out by the window right now, staring at me like. Normally, she's only used to me talking to her, not talking to a screen or even other human beings for that matter. So she doesn't know what to make of this. But hopefully, she warms up to it. And yeah, sorry, I don't got a lot of energy today. The pain's taking the piss right out of me, or taking the wind right out of me. Sorry. Uh, I'm gonna keep this one a wee bit short today. I got a lot to do, and I'm burning light as it is. It gets dark up here early, usually around 3, 4 o'clock on average. Um, oh yeah, so I'll start wrapping up shortly here, but I'll either be doing a live event while just sewing and stitching some of the items I'm making right now and just generally gabbing away about what I'm about because I haven't given you guys enough context on here, and that's because these video entries, these journals, are not meant to be scripted. They're meant to be just what's on my mind and just talking to you, plain Jane, straight, honest, and conversating. So I'm not going to be filling it up with a bunch of guff or what too much of what's going on my day if I do create something because I am busy and extremely out here and I am trying to survive as I go along. So yeah, that being said, I will get into my next bit of the Easter egg explaining the Tom McDonald Steven Crowder situation. And then I will bid you farewell and adios as I move on to the next section of the day. So, I left off last time pretty much in a ramble rant about some people I listen to thanks to Steven Crowder and to Tom McDonald. And no, well, Steven Crowder, his team, and Tom McDonald and Nova Rockefeller. I only say Steven Crowder and Tom McDonald because I'm trying to make it as brief as possible when talking about those content creators. But I never listened to Steven Crowder for a full year after coming back from my adventures up north. And I only listened to Tom McDonald Scattertime because I wasn't a huge R&B or hip hop or rap fan. It was when I was younger, and I got out of it just because of the lyrics and the content, and I just didn't think it was helpful for the development of where I needed to go with things. So yeah, I think it was probably half a year before I was back to Newfoundland before I got into Steven Crowder again. And I slowly started developing an interest for more content creators that falls along the same lines, like the Hodge twins, Tim Pool, and I know Tim Pool's centralist, but I put him into that category because I do like his content, and I think for the most part, from what I've seen, he's a very honest individual. His whole crew. Ian irks me sometimes. I'll get into that later. Um, and then you got Jeremy from the Quarter, and he's a pretty entertaining fella to listen to about the content he's passionate about. You got the Hodge twins, Jordan Peterson, Sydney Watson, Gothics, Candace Owens. There's a few more to list off. I'm not proud of it, but I get into Gutfield. I first used to think he was a demented, evil version of Dr. Zeus, or Zeus. A long story there. I'll get into that also later. And then you got Tom McDonald, introduced me to Knox Hill, which at first I thought was only a commentator, but he's a rapper too. He's pretty decent for his work. I'm still getting into his music. You got Dax, Brandon Hart, Upchurch, Adam Cahoon. I'm probably pronounced that one wrong. There's this one guy. I love his music. I don't know his name. I think it's Mises or Mises, but I'm not too sure. Then you got Burden, Topher, the Marine rapper, and a lot of these people are rappers. And it wasn't the stuff I. Oh, and then you got Dax. I don't know if I said Dax. Sorry, my mind goes different places. And these guys are rappers, and normally I wouldn't have looked at them twice. But once I started getting into his music, I was more open minded to other sources of music, and I slowly started getting into the content as I went on, and I started following them, and yeah, uh, they both yielded some really good talent that followed them along, which I got nothing really bad to say about them. Like some of their music I don't mess with, just because I try to stay away from any content that's strong about the drugs or about heavy drinking, and not saying a lot of them have it, but there is a scattered song or a ballad or a limerick. I don't know what you call a rap, really, but there's there's always something within the artist that I will find, and it's just not for me. But for the general most part, I like all their content. So yes, spawning from these two individuals, I got a better grasp of knowledge from the outside world and didn't just follow mainstream media. And I started looking into it more. And so, yeah, big thank you to those fellas and lady for definitely introducing me to these other artists, because some people might have been confused when I said last time on the video that they were the voices on the other end of the tunnel. Was because, again, I wasn't trying to off myself up north. I was giving nature the chance to take me out. I was fighting. I was going to stay alive to the best of my abilities. I had the deck stacked against me, but I wasn't giving up. And there was some really dark times up there. And I mean, I still have those dark times from time to time. But when it came down to listening to those two individuals, it was enough to take my mind off of subjects that were ongoing at the time, and it gave me the opportunity to grow and find new strengths. So yeah, my hats off to those gentlemen, and yeah, they I will further on go down the road and continue to listen to their content, and uh, yeah, I'll always end up liking their content for the most part for what I know of right now. I mean, things could change, but yeah, they were definitely something that gave me better understanding, like I said, and allowed me to move forward. And I do owe them a great deal, even though most people are like, "No, you did it." Is sometimes you need a voice in the back of your head, and sometimes you should give that voice credit. And that voice isn't your voice; that voice is from other things that you've heard. And trust me, no matter how bad your life is, no matter how hard it is, there's still some positivity in your life that you can look back on and draw strength from. I don't want to hear that no one has ever had something good happen in their life, because no, I have some of the worst luck in my life, and I've been through some rough patches. But I will say this: for a lot of the bad, there has definitely been some good, and it gave me new perspective on things throughout my whole entire life. Some good, some bad. I didn't always take the answers to heart, and again, listening to these two individuals kind of helped me suss out things, and I'm hoping to further it down the line and get in. Like I said, I'm gonna get into a lot of creator content. Like there's some creators out there that surprise me. It's people I thought I'd never listened to, and again, now I am. And so yeah, I hope that these two content creators and their whole crews are doing well and staying safe. And the reason I'm doing these Easter eggs again is because one day I aspire to be able to have an interview with Tom and Nova and Steven Crowder and his crew. Hopefully, Dave is on there. Dave Landry, Landry. Sorry, I don't know. I didn't pronounce his last name properly. He's a great comedian and a sweetheart of an individual. And it wouldn't be anything stupid. Like I wouldn't ask him political stuff. I would ask Steven Crowder his thoughts prior to going on stage to that one video I was talking about in the last video. I would ask him what led to that moment, what immediately led to after that moment. And that is probably as far political as I would ask. Other than that, I don't know what I'd ask him, to be honest. I have a few inclinations of what I would ask, but I'm not looking for dirt. I'm not looking to break YouTube with some scandal or some emotional response. I'm hoping to get subscribers on Subscribestar, and I'm hoping to get some content going on here because it would help me out in the long run out here. But in this world, you can't count on others for help. As much as it's a nice gesture, it's a nice thought to have in the back of your head, it can get you killed. If you think, oh, someone's just going to come along, someone's just going to help me, I'll be fine, I'll just make it out. I went 10 days without food out here. And so, yeah, like, so when it comes down to all that things, like, really think outside the box. And again, everyone might think I'm riding the Crowder bandwagon a little bit hard, but like I said in the last video, if even if you dislike that man, check out his content. Get past the crass jokes. He makes fun of pagans, heathens, polytheists. I worship the Anglo-Saxon gods, which is essentially the Scandinavian gods with different names, Germanic gods, essentially. I'm not butthurt by it. I'm not attacked by it. I'm not oppressed by it. They're jokes, people. It's like Dave Chappelle. Like, get over it. The guy's the nicest guy in the freaking world. Just leave him alone. Let him tell some jokes. Let him live. Same thing with Crowder. Like, one of the biggest things he said that stuck with me is, I did not want to get into politics. I just wanted to tell jokes and do my own thing. But this is where it led me. Well, he didn't say it in those terms. He said it similar. And that's the thing with it. It's so easy for you to attack someone, to try to demonetize someone. Couldn't your energy be spent better creating your own content or looking up for information? If you really have a problem with them, check out his videos, go past all the stuff that triggers you, and go right to the facts. If he's lying about the facts, tell it on air. Call him out on it. He's already gone on air and apologized for some of the facts that he's gotten wrong in the past. He labels the facts right there for you. It's not that hard. And the same thing with Tom McDonald. You don't like his music. Guess what? There are other artist content creators out there. Nova does amazing work, and she's not all on the same line of what Tom creates. Check her out. You can switch the channel. People do not have to follow your direction. People do not have to change and bend to your will. It's just that simple. Grow some thick skin. This world's going up in flames. If you can't grow a backbone and some strength, you may not survive the future. I don't know if that's your plan, is just to call it quits when it gets really tough. I really hope it doesn't. I don't wish death on anyone, except for if you're someone who's trying to enter my home with ill intent. And I live in Canada, so when I say that, know that I can go to jail for that action, even if I'm completely justified. And I still strongly believe in that fact. So again, don't rag on these content creators. Like, really, if you're chasing clout, I don't even know what that word means. I think it means to chase aggression or to chase a troll line or something like that. I hear what the context is. I have a inclination to what it means, but I don't even know what ratchet means. I've been out of this world for so long, and when I left it, it was perfectly fine. It was perfectly normal. I leave it for a few years, and you all screw it up. Like, oh, I mean, it is a dumpster fire out there. Yeah, so that's my rant and ramble for today. Again, sorry for getting off topic. The Easter egg was supposed to be purely about Tom and Steven Crowder, and the reason I am doing that, and I never described that in that rant, sorry, because I always get off track, is because one day I hope to get an interview with both individuals and their parties. And I just want to ask general questions. I I admire these people for what they are. And to me, that's worthy of telling a story, a tale. And so I know Steven Crowder is one of these researchers. Before he'd ever get involved with talking to someone off the cuff, he'd need to know something basic about them. So I'm leaving the paper trail for him. And I mean, if Tom wants to do the same, best con. Like, he's more of a off the charts, off the cuff kind of guy. He'd probably seen the person to be like, oh, this guy seems interesting. Click dial, right? No preparedness for nothing. He seems like a free spirit. But Mr. Crowder, on the other hand, he likes to do his due diligence, his homework, and make sure the person on the other end isn't completely divisive. I said it again. Anyways, enough rambling from me. I got lots of stuff to do here, and sweet, precious little time. So this is Amir of Hazelwood. If you like my videos, please like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, uh, to my minds.com. I have a Patreon. I'll be not Patreon. I got rid of Patreon. I'm doing subscribe side now. I got Parlor now, and I got Instagram. So what I have up on the screen right now will be the content, the places you can go and search out these base informations and find ways to follow me along my journey. I will be doing outings and stuff like that in the future once my back is getting better. I'm working on it, I swear. And yeah, so this is Amir of Hazelwood. Before I get into another ramble and a rant, thank you for listening. Please like, subscribe, and share if you do wish to follow and support a Off the Gritter. And have a great day.